This type of conversation is exactly why I started the Treat Different podcast, to talk about what truly matters. I know we're in the aesthetic space, it's a big world out there, but sometimes we get so caught up between the needles and forget to really bring up and talk about what really matters. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Treat Different podcast. I'm your host, Fatou D, nurse injector, aesthetic educator, founder of Fatou Aesthetics and the Treat Different movement. Today's episode is so close to my heart because we're diving into the mental side of beauty, the part that doesn't always show up on camera, but affects everything. And since it's Mental Health Awareness Month, this conversation could not come at a better time. We are not just talking about beauty. We are talking about the invisible battles that so many of us fight behind the scenes, especially in the world of aesthetics. You know, I've had seasons where I look like I had it all together, but inside, I was battling self-doubt, chronic stress, and even worse, anxiety. And I know I am not alone. That's why I'm so honored to welcome Grace Carlisle today. She's not only an aesthetics nurse practitioner, she's also a board-certified mental health NP and just opened her own practice in Columbus, Ohio, doing wellness and aesthetics. Today, we're going beyond Botox and skincare. We are talking about identity, social media pressure, high-functioning anxiety, and the beauty we seek within. Let's get into it. Grace, welcome.
Hi, Fatou. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here today. I am Grace Carlisle. I am a board-certified psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner and up-and-coming aesthetic nurse practitioner. As Fatou said, I am just now opening my own private practice in Columbus. I am located in Westerville near Polaris Parkway. And I am so excited to be able to offer both virtual and in-person mental health medication management in addition to aesthetic services.
That is amazing. Oh
Thank
my God.
you.
I'm so, you wear two hats, like the two most important hats.
Yes, I do wear two hats in addition to all the hats I wear at home
Oh,
as
right,
well.
right. That is awesome. So, Grace, I want to start with what are some signs of high functioning anxiety and depression that often go unnoticed, especially in women who seem put together?
Yeah, of course. So some signs of high functioning anxiety can include perfectionism, overthinking, people pleasing, restlessness, irritability, some physical symptoms, and then experiencing that feeling of internal calm but external panic. So these are the people where they feel this need to perform perfectly all the time.
Oh my God, I feel that.
Room for error and making mistakes just isn't there. And these are the women especially that really need to work on giving themselves grace. And then overthinking. So constantly worrying about past mistakes or I can't believe I said this and ruminating on it and having trouble moving on from that. Difficulty saying no. So working on those boundaries is huge for these people. Constantly feeling on edge, like something bad is going to happen. And these are the people that can't enjoy good moments because they're always worried that this is too good to be true.
Yes.
The physical symptoms, so if these people feel like they're always tired or they have headaches or their stomach's always upset, a lot of times that can be related to anxiety as well. And then feeling the internal panic but external calm. So on the outside, they look calm and they look like they're handling everything perfectly, but inside they just feel like they're going crazy.
Oh my God.
And then for more of the depression, so this is the persistent low mood, always being down, loss of joy and interest in things that they once really, really enjoyed doing, self-criticism, socially withdrawing themselves, irritability, and avoidance. So these are people that they just always feel empty no matter what they're doing. They can be in a crowd of people. They could be with their friends. They can be doing all these fun things, but they're just not enjoying themselves.
Yes.
They'd rather kind of crawl into a hole, be by themselves, and isolate from the world. And then these people can experience that exhaustion where they're just chronically tired because any amount of being out in the world or socializing is just so emotionally and physically exhausting for them.
How often do you see this, Grace? Like, how often do you see people? Because this, oh my God, this sounds so,
It's very, very common. I feel like especially among moms, because moms, we always need to have
overachievers,
everything together, and we don't really have the time to take for ourselves in addition to everything else. And I also see it in college students a lot too, is they're constantly pushing themselves. They're not getting the sleep they need. They're staying up all night studying and just not taking that time for themselves. And one tool I like to tell my patients is if you feel like you have an immense load on your plate, make a to-do list. And on that to-do list, you need to put down self-care. Because a lot of people feel like, oh, I have too much to do. I don't have time for that. But your self-care should be just as important as everything else on your to-do list. I couldn't agree more.
Yes. Wow. That hits so close, because I remember there was times, especially when I have back-to-back patients, and it's not even, anything is chaotic in the office. Everything's going well. Patients are being seen. They're happy. Content is, on social, even makeup is flawless, and everything looks put together, like from what you can see.
Right.
But like deep inside, I just felt I felt like I wasn't doing enough. So this is very common.
Yes, very, very common. That imposter syndrome sets in. Like, I'm not good enough. I'm not doing
good enough.
Yes.
You just feel like something is missing. You're just not, or measuring up, if I can use that word.
And I feel like it's really hard for people who are the high functioning anxiety and depression, because on the outside they look like everything's fine. And so their little clues of I'm struggling, people don't pick up on, or when they do say I'm struggling, they'll get the response, oh, but you're doing amazing. You're doing all these things. You're doing great.
Yeah.
And so people are just assuming that they are fine, when really they are really struggling on the inside. They just are functioning so well.
Yeah. All right, Grace, let's talk social media. We have to talk social media. This is a big one. Oh my God, the comparison, the highlight reel, the everything.
Yes.
Social media is a big one. So how do you think social media impact the mental health of women, especially us in the beauty and aesthetic world?
Yeah, of course. So social media has a huge impact on the mental health of everyone, especially women on social media and the beauty and aesthetic world. So one of the major reasons it impacts is because women get dissatisfied with their body image. So women, especially on social media, we're often exposed to filters or heavy editing or these idealized images of beauty on all these social media platforms. So this can lead to negative body image. It can lead to comparison anxiety, like you said.
Yeah.
It can lead to lower self-esteem and a desire for cosmetic procedures, maybe more and more and more, like it's never going to be enough. Or unrealistic expectations when they go into these cosmetic procedures in the aesthetic industry. The social media can lead to increased anxiety and depression with the comparison. So constantly feeling like you're not enough, constantly feeling like no matter what you do, you're never going to be happy with who you are, and comparing yourself to other people. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I feel like even the most confident women are comparing themselves too. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, definitely.
Even the most, those who seem more confident or well put together, or, they've achieved, everything they wanted, to still compare themselves.
Yeah. And it's the concept of the grass is always greener on the other side. No matter what it is, whether it's aesthetics or some different topic. It's just always hard for a lot of people to be happy with what they have and not constantly look at the next thing. Social media can also promote the issue of people constantly wanting to have the most likes, the most views, the most followers. Yeah. And so in addition,
and none of that stuff is true. Like likes, views. People buy likes. Like you can buy likes now.
Yes.
You can buy views. You can buy followers. It's crazy.
Yeah. But for some reason, there's this
feeling of
needing to get to that spot. But then a lot of people find that even when I have the followers I thought I would, there's still something inside of me where now that's not enough. And then constantly
I thought I would be happy
more.
when I had when I have this much follower, this many views, but okay, now I have it. Like what's next? I'm still not happy.
And I think that comes from the feeling of wanting the validation from other people, and you're constantly becoming dependent on needing that. And then when you don't have it, you struggle. But then when you do have it, it's not enough. And then the difference in social media with empowerment versus pressure of being on this space. Some women feel empowered to express themselves on social media, whereas others feel like it's just following a trend and it's not enough. And it's just like a constant back and forth struggle. And so it's so important to just take social media breaks.
What do you think could help us detach our self-worth to this online space? Because I feel like we are so much more than these views or likes or, so-and-so like my post or they didn't comment or whatever.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, most of us get trapped into that mindset of thinking if you don't get these many views or these many likes or whatever, I'm not worthy, or, oh, my content isn't even worth putting out there because nobody cares. But it's like, what can you tell our audience? Like, what can you tell these people? Like, ways that can all of us help us detach our self-worth.
I think that
from what we see online, it's none of that. Most of it is not true.
Yes.
Crazy.
So I think it's really important in order for us to detach is to feel happy and content with your life in the real world. So whether that is finding a community or a village that lifts you up and gives you the feeling that you belong and you're important, and that validation and the love that every person needs, you might not feel the need to find that in social media nearly as much with the likes and views and follows, because you don't need to run to this pretend kind of space online, because you have that community and the resources.
You have it
in the real world.
Yep. It's almost like the online space is just there as a bonus.
Right.
Whatever happens there, you get the views, the likes, whatever, but it doesn't really matter as much as many of us gives it. It's like, it shouldn't be that powerful.
Yes.
Social media should not have so much power in us, but unfortunately it does.
Unfortunately it does.
So in your experience, Grace, how do romantic, family, and friendship dynamics affect mental health?
Yeah. So relationships have a significant impact on mental health, and it can be both negative and positive. So when we think of the positive of the relationships and friendships on mental health, we look at emotional support. So healthy relationships provide the comfort, they help with stress, and they help people cope with different challenges life throws at them. You need to find your safe space and your safe person. It can increase your self-esteem. So being told by a partner or a loved one, you look good today, or
someone
you're beautiful.
That has so much power in your life.
It makes you feel good.
It does make you feel good.
You want to be validated and understood by others to boost your confidence and your feelings of self-worth. And then you'll have the sense of belonging. So feeling that strong connection with other people can reduce the feelings of loneliness, and it can hopefully help you not to isolate yourself and avoid.
So important.
Important. And then it encourages you to have other healthy behaviors. So supportive partners or friends often promote good habits like exercise, good sleep, seeking help when you need it, because you have other people looking out for you as well. You don't just have to look out for yourself. But on the other side of that, some negative effects is stress and anxiety. So if you feel like you're in a toxic or conflict-heavy relationship, this can cause chronic stress, anxiety, or depression because you're not feeling that love and support. Low self-esteem. So the opposite of someone telling you that you're beautiful or you look good, this is a relationship where you're constantly getting criticized or I've had
clients before who got criticized by their partner about getting the services they were getting.
And sometimes it
so
can
toxic.
be sometimes it can be so toxic that it could even be more like emotional abuse, and undermine one's sense of feeling value and feeling worthy and feeling like they're enough. And then somebody who's controlling or codependent relationships, they can in turn make isolation and avoidance worse because they're not allowing you to go with your friends. They're not allowing you to be with your family. And there's a lot of that unhealthy jealousy going on. And then it can also cause trauma depending on how toxic and abusive or negative the relationship or friendship is. It can last to psychological trauma and require more healing and repair later on down the road.
So deep. You know what just came in mind? I had a client before who she's been wanting a treatment for a month, but would not get it until her partner leaves the country. So he would not see the transaction. Or he would not see because he would make comment when like she gets the Botox.
Yeah,
so
that's hard.
It is. Like she was due for treatment, but just would not do it until that person, because he was going to go out of the country.
Yes.
So she wouldn't do it until he leaves out of the country, because first she did not want him to know like where that money went. Second, he would make comments every time she gets it done. Or I don't know why you're doing this. This doesn't look good. I mean, I understand men, like some men sometimes like tell us, okay, you don't need to do this. You are beautiful. But to the point where you're like literally criticizing, like this makes you look this way. You don't look good in this. You should stop this. It's abuse.
Yeah.
It's hard. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Oh,
and I
that
think
really stayed with me. I was so,
I
was like, this is toxic. Like, I mean, and he should not, this is my opinion. Your partner should not have a say in what makes you, if you're doing it, it makes you feel good. They should not.
Yeah, I think that's
have
like
that much power
a little
in your beauty routine.
Yeah.
It's my opinion.
Yeah. For me, I think that it's important, like in my marriage, we share a bank account. So we always make sure before we make a big transaction that this is something we can afford this month and we're on board. But it's definitely one of those things that if we do have the money and we can afford it and that's what I want to spend my money on, then having a partner that supports you.
That support.
But yes, if it's more just like we have the money, but I don't want you to do something for yourself, or criticizing her appearance before and after the procedure is done. Yes, that's definitely a toxic and unhealthy situation.
Let's touch upon this a little bit. I know it's a little bit it's not even off topic. We're talking about mental health and relationship. But what would you say to a woman who feels stuck in a relationship? Like, and what I mean by stuck is she probably just wants to leave. She's not feeling herself in this anymore. But she's stuck. She doesn't have a way out. Like, do you have these cases in your like? Do you see this?
Yes, I've definitely talked to people and had people in my life that have been in this situation. And it's also really challenging because it depends on if they feel safe in the situation or if they are afraid to leave for their safety or their children's safety. And I definitely think that if you're in a situation where it's on
there's a
safety issue, to find those resources that can help you get out so that something doesn't happen to you. Because it is really hard. Like, I would never want to tell somebody, oh, just leave, because I don't see the full picture and I don't know what would the repercussions of that be if they did just leave. So definitely making sure that you have a safe plan to get out if you are in a dangerous situation like that. But something I like to tell my patients when they're either feeling undervalued in a relationship or a friendship is, when I was growing up, my mom always told me when I would be disappointed in something somebody would say to me or do to me, she would tell me that everybody has a different capacity to love. And so if we expect everybody in our life to love at the same capacity as us, we are going to be disappointed. And we are constantly going to feel like we're let down.
So true.
And so when you are picking friendships and a partner for your life, you want to pick somebody that matches your capacity to love so that you're never left feeling empty. And of course, there's going to be hard days. But you want to make sure that the people you are surrounding yourself with are matching your capacity so that you are there to lift each other up and you're not feeling empty and feeling stuck in a relationship later on down the road. But always remember that you have so much value and you are so worthy of a great and fierce love. And if you are not feeling that, you don't have to stay stuck.
Yeah, right. Or at least don't give as much as you're giving.
Right. Yeah.
Tell me, how do you help patients work through feelings of unworthiness or low self-esteem? Just feeling like, nobody wants me. I don't look as good. We kind of touched upon it a little bit, but I think this one is a little bit different. Just not feeling worthy, not feeling measuring up, even though, like, you have it all, but you're just not feeling worthy, or just have a very low self-esteem.
I help my patients work through those feelings with a combination of different therapeutic techniques. So some of them are building a safe, trusting relationship, and these can be done by any provider or any person that does self-care services. It's not just something that I can provide because I specialize in mental health. So building a safe and trusting relationship, you want to create a non-judgmental, accepting space. And I've gotten feedback from a lot of my patients that of all the providers that they've gone to, I am the only one that they've truly felt listens to them. And I think that comes from a place of me knowing what it's like to be on the other side and knowing what it's like to be a patient and not feeling heard. And so a major thing I do when I practice is I make sure my patients feel like they have my full attention and that I'm actually listening to them and I'm never dismissing them and how they feel. I want to validate my patients' emotions and their different experiences. And I'm always utilizing active listening because I want them to feel like I respect them and I am understanding where they're coming from. Some different therapies I use is cognitive behavioral therapy. So this helps patients identify like their negative thought process and it turns it around and creates them with more of a positive thought process. So taking the I'm not good enough and learning how to rework our brain to spin that to remind ourselves that we are enough. And cognitive behavioral therapy does utilize some homework techniques because it's not as quick as just sitting in the appointment with me and then your brain's just going to do it. You need to
homework.
relearn.
Yes, there's homework that needs to be, it's like a follow-up care.
And then encourage self-compassion and self-care. So that's also why I'm so excited to be able to add aesthetics into my practice. I can help my patients with that.
I am so excited, Grace, that you're adding this because even us who are just injectors and not a mental health professional, we see sometimes someone comes in wanting a treatment, thinking that the way they come to seek treatments, thinking that the way they feel, the treatment will fix it. And it's not the case. I mean, good thing we've been trained and able to recognize when it's time to refer to a practice like you,
right?
Or professional mental health. But I have seen this multiple times when patients come in just because they want to come in. The need isn't even there, but they just want that that therapy feel, or that someone to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe when I get this treatment done, I will feel better, because they just know they're not feeling good. Something's not right. But again, this is why I'm so excited for you to be doing this combination of mental health and aesthetics, because you can recognize right off the bat that, okay, this is not what you need.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're going to do instead.
Yeah.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, they're searching for that hit of dopamine by getting their procedure done.
Yes.
It's like that gives them the instant feeling of satisfaction, but does that feeling last? Is
right.
the concern.
That's
Yes.
no, it is it will not last. You need we need, some deeper like work, mental health interventions. Yeah. And what role do you think aesthetics can play in like healing or harming in like self-image?
Yeah.
When I say harming, like just like I just explained, unless that's why it's very important to go to a provider. You will not always find a provider that is aesthetic nurse and a mental health together, but it's important to find someone who cares, I would say. Someone who is not, dollar happy, ready to, take your money, inject you and let you go. Someone who really cares and know like the right intervention that is appropriate for you.
Yeah.
That's where I'm thinking that aesthetics can heal. Yes, I would say that. Sometimes all you need is a little Botox and you are happy, right? But it can also like harm if we're not taking the right approach or going to the right professional.
Yeah, so I think some of the potential downsides of combining mental health and the aesthetics world is the body dysmorphia. So that's where like, for example, the biggest, most common one I feel like is when I lose the weight, I'm going to feel happier and I'm going to feel more confident. And then people do get down to their goal weight and they're like, oh, I still don't look good. I'm still not happy with my appearance. And so that's the same issue when we think about getting Botox or filler is, oh, well, if my jawline just looks a little more slim, I'm going to be happier. Or if I fix my wrinkles on my forehead, that's my problem, right? And then they get it done and it gives them that initial instant happy I did this, but then it kind of goes back to the, but I still don't look good enough. And then another downside is we have the unrealistic expectations. So those patients that go in thinking that they're going to look like the model that they saw on their phone, but really everybody's body is different. And so everybody's going to respond differently.
100%.
And so having the media and the social pressure, going back to that social media, can give people those unrealistic expectations. And then we can have this addiction to the procedures. So it's never going to be enough. I have to get more and more. So like you said, you want to find a provider that's going to tell you no when you're getting to the point where it's not going to serve you anymore.
I cannot tell you how many times I have said no.
Yes.
Like no. Like, I wish I knew you at that time and say, okay, we're going to Grace. Like,
yes.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
There's no need for what you're asking me to do. There's no need. Let's not do this.
Yeah.
And those aren't, let's be honest, those aren't always like topics they aren't easy to initiate those conversations. Unless the person like opens up to you, comes to you and tell you, okay, this is what I've been dealing with. You cannot just say, okay, we don't need the talks. This is what you need.
Yeah.
You just cannot tell them that. You can't just look at a person and say, go seek mental,
Yeah,
help.
That's a slippery slope. Definitely.
It is a slippery slope. You just have to, there is a way to approach it. And there was a time that the person did open up to me and I was able to, oh my God, take it from there. Yes. And just, put her where she needed to be as far as referrals. But you don't always get this opportunity. I call it an opportunity because you can help them out when they open up to you like that. But yeah, it is definitely a slippery slope. What
Yeah.
is one thing you wish like every woman could believe about themselves
Oh
and
my gosh.
all this stuff that's out there and it's not true.
Yeah. Well, my big mantra, I guess you could say, is I even got it tattooed on my rib cage, is I am enough. And so no matter what, just remembering you are enough. Don't let anybody put you down. Don't let anybody make you feel like you are not worthy. You are enough. And I'm sitting here
Love it.
saying this, and everybody's watching, going to be like, oh, she's got it all together. No, that's why I got it tattooed on me. So I could remind myself every day too.
No, we don't.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's one, like, people can see us and think, oh, they have it all together.
Mhm.
But no, like I was saying in the beginning, sometimes I would be in my practice, like makeup's done, looking flawless.
Mhm.
My, social media posts are going 1 a.m, one at,
Right.
patients coming in, being happy, but you just, I don't know. I think everyone deals with this, just
Yeah.
feeling of, oh my God, what's next? Not enough. This is not good. Oh my God. One night I was scrolling. This is why I don't scroll. I'm going to say this right now. I do not. Honestly, I can count like the amount of people that I go into their social media on purpose
Mhm.
and really go check on them, like, comment, because I don't like how it makes me feel and how it made me feel like before I've done so much work to get me to this place that I am, as far as comparing myself, feeling I'm not enough, that I don't want to go back like to that person. But there was times where I was like, this one night I was scrolling on social media and I came across this girl, really, really good injector, and her pictures, like videos, are perfect.
Yeah.
I was watching her doing lip filler. It was perfect. Like the images were crisp. It was nicely video recorded. Everything looked just perfect on social. I was like, I remember thinking in my head, why don't my videos look like this? Oh, why don't I look flawless like her? Mind you, I had a day full of patients, happy patients. Like everything, I was happy. Like it was a great day, a very good day, happy patients. It was good in the books, financially and all, and everything was fine until I got on social media, started comparing myself
Yep.
to one injector that I don't even know. But I got on there, her videos look good, she was doing flawlessly the lip filler, and I started comparing. Why don't I look that flawless? Why don't my videos look like this? I was like, okay, Fatou, this is why you do not scroll.
Yeah.
This is why you just do not scroll. Yeah, social media.
Back to social media.
Back to social media. Yeah. It's
Well, that's why I'm really excited to be able to add the mental health with the aesthetic industry, because some of the positive impacts is I have so many patients where I feel like they are stabilized on their medications and they're happy with where they're at, but they still have some of the insecurities with their appearance or certain things. So being able to help improve that self-esteem and confidence in addition to the mental health aspect of things is a positive impact, putting it together. And then helping with body dysmorphia management. So having aesthetic treatments when paired with the psychological medication management and psychotherapy can be a strategy to help people feel more aligned with their self-image and what they feel like, and help patients feel empowered and in control of their appearance and their emotions. It can have a lot of benefits too. But having a provider that's giving you the aesthetic procedures that is informed in psychology is so important.
Oh, it is so. Or if they're not like a mental health professional or informed in psychology, know the signs.
Yes.
Know when to refer.
Yes.
Know when to say no. Know when not to treat. When to really know to recognize the signs.
Yes.
Because it's
Well, and it's really important when you have a new client come in for an assessment of the procedure they want done, asking them, what are your goals, instead of just looking at them and assuming something, because somebody could be totally happy with their nose, for example. And then if you mention something,
my God, say that louder. I am teaching about this all day long. Like that, do not assume.
Right.
Do not. Don't.
You could give them. They'll start worrying about their nose now.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh. Let's fix this. No. You do not. Let them tell you. Give them the mirror. They're gonna tell you. They came to you for a reason. Yeah. Let them tell you.
They'll let you know what they need.
Yeah, exactly. What can I do for you? Like, why are you here? What can I help you with? Just ask them the questions. They will tell you this and this and that. Well, sometimes you might have some that come and say, I don't know, like, what do you think I need? Oh, my God, that's a hard one. I've had those before. What are you here for? No, what do you think I need? Just tell me.
Well, then you ask, well, what are your insecurities?
What are your insecurities? Exactly. Yes. What do you see when you look in the mirror that you would like to change, or you would like to, But yeah, I know you do not want to assume. Let's fix this. Don't, unless they tell you. And
be their biggest hype girl. Cheer for them.
Yeah,
tell them they're
genuinely
beautiful.
Cheer. Like,
give them compliments.
Like through compliments, like that. Because I truly, genuinely believe every woman is beautiful.
Yes,
every woman is beautiful, and we just have to. I know. Oh,
we have to see the beauty in each other, because a lot of times we can't see the beauty in ourselves.
Oh, we cannot. That's I know how we can reverse that, but yeah. So what are some daily, what would you recommend? What are some daily mental health habits that you would that you recommend to your patients, to not just the aesthetics patients, but to everyone listening to this, and something they can, practice, just some daily rituals, prayers, affirmations, I don't know, something that you can keep saying, because what you say to yourself matters.
It does.
It matters so much. Oh my God. When I don't feel good, sometimes just the stuff I say to myself, repeating it in my head is so powerful, because what you say to yourself, you believe.
You do. Your mind is very powerful.
Your mind is very powerful. What you say to yourself, you believe. So what do you recommend?
So some techniques I would recommend. There's lots of studies and research done that have shown that morning mindfulness is really important. So one of the first things you do when you wake up in the morning,
and
whether you're somebody that prays, or whether you're somebody that meditates, or just takes a moment to yourself with your own thoughts, just grounding yourself first thing in the morning can be really powerful.
Avoid looking at your phone. Okay, I'm going to let you finish this.
Mindfulness is not your phone.
Finish this. But yes, avoid looking at your phone.
Yes.
Oh my God. Definitely do not go to social media when
Don't start your day with social media.
Yes.
No, yes.
Yep.
And then another big one is gratitude journaling. So at the end of the day, write down 3 things that you are grateful for. And I like to tell my patients to keep the journal.
Yep.
And
my
keep
coach
that
tells
list.
Me this.
So when you're having a bad day or you're struggling, refer back to your gratitude journal. And that can really help you with the cognitive behavioral therapy we talked about earlier, with kind of retraining your thinking. So if when you're struggling or having a bad day and you remind yourself what you're grateful for, that can help turn your mood around. Movement and exercise. So exercise is a very powerful way to boost those endorphins and help with your overall mood and how you feel. The digital boundary of social media, putting in those time limits and making sure that you're not spending too much time every day. Breathing techniques. A lot of people find that whether it's during their morning mindfulness, when they are grounding themselves, doing the meditation breathing techniques, or when you're in a stressful moment, taking a minute to do the breathing and deep breaths. Your nutrition plays a huge role in your mental health and how you feel. Making sure you're connecting with others, having your community, and not isolating yourself. But at the same time, having moments for yourself is important too. So finding that balance that works for you and helps you feel good. the self-care, doing things you enjoy, makes you joyful.
Yeah.
And then sleep. Making sure you are getting adequate sleep, especially if you work night shift.
Yes.
Get the adequate sleep.
Get that sleep. Yeah, sleep. Oh my God. That's a big one. And the thing with sleep is, I don't know, but when I just can't function. Like I can't think right. I can't. You just can't function without sleep. But
I am a better mom and a better wife and a better person when I get
better
more sleep.
Provider when you get some sleep.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, sleep is so important. What is your favorite like practice in all of those? What do you like doing the most? Do you meditate? Do you have your own? Do you have your digital? Like, do you have a digital boundary? Because I know I do, and I'm gonna come to that.
So I do have a digital boundary, but I don't have like a timer I set on my phone.
Okay.
But I never open my phone first thing in the morning.
That's good.
That my phone, I don't even check it until I get to work or something like that later in the day. So I definitely do not start with that.
Because you feel so in control when you do that.
Yes.
When you wake up first thing in the morning and start checking your phone, you are inviting everyone like from out there in the world into your space. I feel like that space is so mine. When I first wake up, I use it to, I'm a big meditator. Like I meditate. Oh my God, I meditate. I love to meditate. But that space when you first wake up in the morning, whether you use it to meditate or work out for 5 minutes or whatever you use it for, I feel like you just don't invite. It's like inviting everyone out there that you don't even know into your space. You wouldn't allow, everyone into your private space that early.
Yeah, so I definitely set boundaries. I really try to prioritize my sleep. It's hard to do with work and toddlers and everything, but I make it a priority because I know that I will feel better and I will be better for the other people in my life if I do prioritize that time to get a good night's sleep. And then I also make sure I prioritize getting like a few minutes of alone time every day, which can be really hard to do, especially when we work in the careers that we do where we're constantly communicating and talking to people and
you come home,
being a big support
the
system.
Kids, as a mom of 4, I know exactly how that. But my kids know that. They know when I'm going upstairs sometimes, they're like, Mom, are you going to meditate? I said, no, I'm just going to grab something. Or I'm like, yes, I'm going to meditate. They know like this time in the evenings when I get home, after I pray, of course, and we have dinner, I need that quiet time.
Yeah, you need your minute to ground yourself and to just recollect.
Then like you said, I'm a better mom. I'm a better wife. I'm just so much, I'm a better person when I have that. Because you feel like you weren't all day just giving, like giving to everyone else. And I feel like, okay, I've been giving, I was with patients. Being a nurse, like we are just natural givers.
Yes.
Like we give, you're giving. You go to the grocery store, you give. You're looking at, you're making sure everyone's okay. You just give. Someone's just, leaning back in their car waiting for the light to go green, and you are looking, making sure they're okay. Like, do I need to go check? Yes, it's so like the stuff I do.
We can't shut it off.
We can't shut it off. We're always giving. We're always caring, but it can be, it can take a toll on our mental, space, mental health too. So yeah, I definitely agree. Meditate, pray. My prayer time, I really value. I feel like this is the only time I feel so connected. I feel so, it's amazing. That meditation and that like quick alone time, even if it's 5 minutes.
Right.
Like,
it can make a huge difference.
It can make a huge difference, even if it's 5 minutes. My meditation takes longer. I have this one that I do. It takes 20 minutes, but even if I'm not doing it, just the 5 minute of alone time. It just,
that little reset.
My kids know, like my husband know when they open the door and I'm meditating, they shut it right back. They know, like, and I'm just so recharged. I'm a better person when I meditate. It's so important. But definitely, I see a lot of like people. I even try to tell my kids, those who have the age with where like my 2 older ones who have phones, do not. I'm always like coaching them about this, the use of social media, and not to go into social media the first thing, first thing when you wake up. Just leave that world like that. But definitely social media, digital boundary. My personal digital boundary, I log out.
Completely
Let me give you
log out.
yes, let me give you an example. This week is my log out week.
Okay.
I've logged out since, and this doesn't mean I, go sit on my patients or not there for them. My phone number's out there, my email is out there, and I need this for me. I'm still communicating with patients, appointments, text messages, but as far as social, because I feel like it's hard to control what our little thumb can do when you hold that phone. It's better to just log out. If I don't log out and I have the app there and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to go in. I'm just going to, I'm just going to leave it there. I know I will go into that app. And when I go to that app, I'm going to,
you can't stop.
You can't stop, especially when you're on TikTok.
Yeah.
It's the worst. You cannot stop. You go there. I'm like, So it's my cleansing like ritual. It's just something I do, and I get to do a lot of things on my detox weeks. I'm so productive. I think clearly. I am not distracted because, believe it or not, even if we cannot stay out of social media. This is us.
Yes.
We have our followers there. We have, our friends. We need to socialize. Don't get me wrong. That digital world is like, we need to be there. It's important. But I just like found it like unplugging to be a really, really good way for me to detox and just, I come back so refreshed.
Yes.
Like I've been off this week. Today's what, Thursday? Tomorrow is the last day, and I'm back on social again. I can catch up. Like I can go back to those, see what my friends have posted. I can comment. And most of my friends, maybe you didn't know this, but most of my friends know that I have this detox week. I was talking to a friend yesterday. She was like, "Oh, go on Instagram. I have this and that." I was like, "I can't. I'm off this week."
This is important for you. Yes.
She was like, "Good for you. You off social? Like you can't?" I said, "I cannot. Like I am completely off." It works for me. I know it's not for everyone. I know it is not for everyone, but
if it makes you feel good and gives you that refresh.
Me, so refreshed, so productive. I feel so like not distracted.
Yeah.
Because it's great.
Good. It's important to find those things that work for you.
Things that work for you. And that was so real. Thank you so, so much. This type of conversation is exactly why I started the Treat Different podcast, to talk about what truly matters. I know we're in the aesthetic space. It's a big world out there, but sometimes we get so caught up between the needles and forget to really bring up and talk about what really matters. Something like mental health in aesthetics. It doesn't get talked about always. Something like Black skin aesthetics. It doesn't always get talked about. I've had trainings where nothing was taught about Black skin aesthetics, same as mental health. But I think these are the things that we really need to start talking more about, because it's real, it's out there, and we deal with this every day. Thank you so much. And can you tell our listeners and those who are watching, if you're watching from YouTube, if people want to reach out to you, how they can reach out? And I'm sure they would love to come. If anything, check out the new practice.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time, and it was wonderful to get to be here to be a part of Treat Different. So you guys can follow me on Instagram at CNP_Grace Carlisle, CARLISLE. And then I also have a website, www.𝐂𝐍𝐍𝐿𝐷𝑒.com. And you guys are free to send me a message on Instagram, check out my website. On my website, you can find my email, and my phone number is 313-9639.
If you're listening and this episode resonated with you, maybe you saw yourself in the stories we share, I want you to know that you are not alone. You are not broken. You are evolving. And remember, this is a Mental Health Awareness Month. So if today's conversation hit home, share it with a friend. Talk about it. And check in on the strong women in your life. Be sure to follow Grace on Instagram and stay connected as she opens her mental health, her mental wellness, and aesthetic practice. And if you love this conversation, do me a favor. Share this episode with a friend. Tag us on Instagram, Fatou_aesthetics. Follow the podcast. Subscribe on the YouTube channel if you're watching from YouTube. Last but definitely not least, leave us a review. Because the more we talk about this, the more we normalize healing, growth, and redefining what confidence really looks like. This is the Treat Different podcast, where we believe beauty isn't just seen, it's felt. Until next time, bye for now.